What is it about compassion? Being more compassionate. What does being compassionate mean anyway? Today we're going to talk about how to be more compassionate. Now, what is compassion? What is it? What is it? The definition of what does it even? I want to. If they're down in the dumps as low as you can get, does that mean I want to go there too? Mentally, physically, the whole 9 yards? Maybe for a short time to understand exactly where they are and understand exactly how they feel so that we can bring them back up, right? But the idea is that we want to be more compassionate throughout our lives. Now, what does compassion look like? Well, I had an opportunity to participate in some barrel races. There was a fundraiser for cancer prevention for the most part, where folks in a rural community, there are a lot of folks that can't afford preventative care for mammograms and so forth. So a local organization, Clinch Memorial Hospital, I got this nifty little plaque, which is awesome, but the idea is that they held a fundraiser to help people in the community that can't afford to go in for mammograms or that can't afford to have pre-screening or preventative screening, which I thought was a brilliant opportunity to volunteer, to help out in that situation, right? To go do some service, to be of some service. Now, did I do much? No, I did what I could, but for the most part, like the leadership there had everything like flawless. Everything was rolling 100%. But it was a new experience for me. I'd never been to barrel races before, and all these ladies and gentlemen are running their horses through around barrels. It was a lot of fun, right? Just had a great time there. But what does that have to do with compassion? Well, I have family that have been through breast cancer, been through different forms of cancer and died from cancer, right? So I feel drawn to help in that category where I can. Now, why was I drawn to be there? Well, because it had meaning for me, right? Oh, because I had some compassion. Yes, because I don't want other people to have to go through the same thing that my family went through if it can be fixed or caught early enough that they can take care of it, right? So why enable somebody else's suffering if I can help eliminate somebody else's suffering? So let's talk about how to eliminate other people's suffering and how we can be a little more compassionate. So the first step is that compassionate listening ear that's willing to hear what they're saying without rebutting, without wondering what we're going to say next and all the way out. And try to experiencing it as if we are them, right? This is compassion. This is understanding it from their level of understanding. Now, when we restate what they've said to us and they say, that's right, that's the phrase we're looking for. That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm going through. That's exactly how I feel. Now they feel understood and they do not feel like they are in it and having to go through it alone, right? So a listening ear, sometimes they just need to talk through it and they may not want our advice. And I know that if you're a male and you're listening to this, you know dang well you don't want advice. What you want is for the other person to just listen to what you're saying, because sometimes you just have to talk out your solutions yourself. You don't need somebody to give you advice. Other times you may, but if you wanted advice, you will ask for it, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, that goes the same for the ladies. Sometimes they just want to talk it out. They really don't want our advice. And a way we can get around that is to ask them, hey, do you want me to just listen? Or do you want me to also help come up with solutions? No, dude, I just want you to shut up and listen. Right? Okay, sometimes that's the way it is. All right, so step number 1 is listen. Step number 2 is grace. Grace. And what do I mean by grace? That is just with the assumption when we are working with people, assume that through something crazy, everybody's been through hell and back, for lack of a better term. And if we give them that added grace of a little bit of leeway, a little bit of, we're not going to jump all over them because they made a simple mistake. We're not going to freak out in traffic because somebody cut us off. No, we're going to give them a little bit of grace. They probably have someplace they need to be. They're probably just in a little bit of a hurry. And you know what? I'm not. So let me just slow down a little bit, let them in, right? A little bit of grace goes a long way. And assuming that other people are trauma survivors makes it easier for us to treat them with a little more empathy, right? With a little more softness. We look around the world today and everything is so hard. Oh my gosh, right? You ever watch a reel on YouTube or a reel on Instagram or on TikTok? Man, violence is killing it right now, right? It's everywhere. Nah, turn that crap off. We don't need to fill our minds with that stuff, right? So, grace. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is David Adams. David Adams Speaks and People Steward Leadership. And again, what's the purpose of People Steward Leadership? To inspire leaders to embrace, people stewardship. Why? Because people are what make the difference, right? And so if we embrace people stewardship and we inspire leaders to embrace their people will take personal responsibility for their own growth and development, and the world is a better place. Not magically, but because they work hard at it, right? So, step number 3. By the way, there is a link on my banner for the 5 M's of personal leadership. It's a 27-minute video that I did on the 5 keys to personal leadership. Take a listen and tell me what you think. All right, number 3, service. And this is physical. Go out and serve. Do something. Go volunteer at a soup kitchen. I'll tell you what, I have an uncle. He's passed away now, but he spent years in Fort Worth, Texas, in a homeless shelter. We had no idea. We lived in Fort Worth. If we'd known he was there, he could have come stay with us. When my mom asked him, well, why didn't you come home? He's like, well, I forgot I had a home. Right? So sometimes we've got people in our own families that are in need, and there's a whole group of people out there that need help, right? So to go serve at a soup kitchen, or to go serve at your local YMCA, or coaching youth soccer teams and things like that, whatever it happens to be, just get out and do something physical, some service. What happens? What are the benefits of service? Well, if we volunteer our time, then we get the benefits of meeting different people while we're there. We get the benefit of building a network, and again, relationships, right? Relationships, making contact through relationships is a big deal. All right, and what about with talent? What if we serve with our talent? Well, man, now we're making a real difference, because we're making ourselves immortal. When we teach somebody something and they learn it and they teach somebody else, wow, that's powerful. That ripple effect can travel around the world. We just don't know how far of a stretch we can go if we teach and train and share, right? And really spend that time teaching other people our talents, utilizing our talents. And sometimes maybe the very thing that saves somebody else's life, right? These doctors and nurses that travel to third world countries and help, and those that actually work in different types of discount clinics here in the US, they make a big difference for a lot of people. So volunteering and serving through our utilizing our talents, right? So time, talent, and then the last one is treasure. Sharing with our treasure. We donate. We donate money because a lot of times we don't have the time to serve physically, but we can let our money, we're in a position where our money can also make a big difference and serve by donating our money. So what are the benefits? Again, we build relationships. And remember what Zig Ziglar says, what you send out, you get back. And what you give, you get. So if we give a little more compassionately, and we give with our time, our talent, our treasure, we give that listening ear, we learn to listen, we share some grace, and then we serve physically, right? We get our hands dirty, so to speak. Right. I can't wait till we see you again tomorrow.